All right, I got my 16 mil on. Listen, I love this lens. This lens is awesome. I mean, this is my go-to lens. I use it 90% of the time. But I do have a couple lenses back here, and I want to see what they look like and how different is it whenever I hook them up. So let's go ahead and switch it out. All right, so here's my Sony 18-135 f3.5 lens. It's a great lens. I'm really curious to see what it looks like after I edit it, edit the footage. So let's go ahead and switch. Boom. So this is my 10-18 millimeter Sony lens. And right now, by the way, I have all these at 16 mil. And it's a great lens. Listen, if you're getting into real estate videography, interior videography, and you have a Sony APS-C crop sensor camera, 10-18 mil is money. It's the way to go. It has in-body stabilization built into it, and it goes pretty wide. So let me adjust it. So this is 10 mil. I mean, as you can see, this thing is a beast. But I can tell you right now that I love my 16 mil. So let's go ahead and hook up the 16 mil back up. Ah, that's much better. Really, I love this lens. All right, guys, something that is so important whenever you're making a B-roll is sound effects. And I think as a beginner YouTuber or as someone getting into videography, I feel like that those are things that can get overlooked, right? And over time, I realized how much sound effects can really take your video to that next level and just add another depth to your video. So I created this promotional video for a client, and in the beginning of the promotional video, the client wanted to make a cocktail drink, right? And so in my mind, as I was starting to think of ideas of how to go about this, I really wanted to focus on sound effects and really incorporate some good, strong sound effects to make this video pop out, right? So I want you guys to check it out without sound, and then we'll go ahead and watch it with sound, and we'll see the difference. So let's go ahead and watch it. All right, so that's my B-roll video, and listen, I love that video. I had so much fun shooting, especially whenever the individual was squeezing the lime. I was just the speed ramps and just everything was so much fun. So let's go ahead and watch the video now with sound effects, and we'll see how different this video looks now. Boom. What do you guys think? Man, that video fires me up. It really makes me want to go out and shoot more and get more creative. So one of the most difficult things that I found whenever you're creating your B-rolls and thinking about those sound effects, right, before you go on scene and getting ready to shoot that, is trying to figure out how do you translate a sound effect to a word, right? So I use YouTube and Epidemic Sound to find my sound effects, right? So that's something that's been a challenge for me. So translating your sound effects to a word to a sound, right? Or a sound to a word, right? So for instance, in the shot where I was, I poured, the individual poured the drink, and as I panned around, I was really trying to incorporate that fizz where you hear whenever someone pours a carbonated drink. Now the funny thing is, I was like, fizz, I typed down fizz, I typed down different, and one thing that I found, I was like, you know what, baking soda and water. So I typed baking soda, sure enough, I found that fizz sound that I was looking for. And another cool one that I thought was very interesting that I wanted to share with you guys was whenever the client was pouring the drink in the cup. Now I was trying to figure out, okay, drink pour. I looked up bottle out of water. You know, I was trying to figure out what was the right verbiage and how do I find this right sound. And funny enough, the one that worked for me was blood squirting. Blood squirting. I'm like, blood squirting, hey listen, you know what, that sounds great to me. And so I incorporated it in the video. You know, and sometimes what I find in these videos or when you're looking for sound effects is that in your ear, I don't know about you guys, but for me, I'm looking for a specific sound that just kind of sparks my attention, right? So once I hear that, boom, I know, okay, that's what I'm gonna use. So I take that sample and I start to edit, and maybe sometimes I have to edit, copy it, and then drag it and then create it into one full sound. And you know, sometimes that's the way things work, but that's the cool thing about being creative and being able to create your own style and your own thing. So yeah, listen, it's so much fun to get into this stuff. Audio is so important, guys. Really, I hope this video just kind of gives you a different perspective whenever you're creating your YouTube videos, whether that's you know, just thinking about your shot ahead of time and thinking about those sound effects. Like I mentioned before, whenever I'm doing my shoots, and right when I'm doing my shoot, I'm thinking about that sound effect in my mind, and sometimes I even do it out loud, right? As I'm moving my camera, as I'm moving the camera, I'm thinking about the shot and I'm saying it out loud, and it helps me work that way. It helps me work right. So anyways, what do you guys think about this? What do you think about the B-roll? Does anybody have experience with sound effects? What do you guys use for your sound effects and your YouTube videos? I'm really curious to hear and to see what you guys think. And listen, drop a comment below, leave a like button, and we'll catch you on the next one. See ya.